Hey guys, it's goyangi here and welcome back to my INTJ series. Today I am going to be talking about how the way that we research influences how we communicate. Because our research only really allows us to touch upon a topic on a surface level. So, how our research influences our knowledge is pretty easy to understand. Basically, we get sidetracked a lot during our research, whereby we search for other stuff that somehow still continuously relates to our initial search. When INTJs look into a subject or a question, we like to strip everything back. So, for example, the other day I suddenly had an interest, again, in blood. Random, yes. But okay, so I was interested in blood, which therefore spurred me on to research what makes it red, what makes it thick, and what is the composition of blood. Then I'll think and research about snake venom and how it gelatinizes blood, and what the various methods of releasing this poison from the blood is, surgical wise. After that, I went on another tangent, researching about what anti-venom there are, which led on to what the world's most venomous snakes are, naturally, how many types of venomous snakes there are, where they can be found, and whether there is an anti-venom for each one of them. Finally, I would think about where these anti-venoms are stored. I mean, in a laboratory, most probably, but which area specifically within a region. As I was just talking about this whole snake thing, a thought popped into my head, and I was thinking, what was the first ever snake to be recorded? And what type it was? And where? That'd be interesting to know. Maybe the people who found this snake thought it was a monster and killed it, because that's what people do if they presume that something is monstrous, therefore equates to being dangerous in their perception. Do you think that the first snake that was ever recorded was the sea serpent? I mean, they class that thing as a monster. So, as you can see, with all this research, we only really tackle the surface level of most topics, or the surface level of our questions, because we get sideswept. And so, all we really can do when in a conversation is talk on the surface level of some subjects that we haven't delved deeply enough. Unless somehow some of us have a knack for bull crapping, I personally don't have a gift for bull cropping. I really need some form of evidence and facts and information in order to sound convincing to myself, let alone to other people. So the first step is convincing myself that what I'm saying is legit. I forgot to mention that actually INTJs are very much NE influenced. Meaning that we are very capable of bouncing upon several topics continuously, as opposed to go in depth with one topic. And so the phrase, I know what I know and what I don't know, is pretty handy. Don't get me wrong though. I know some INTJs are pretty good at sticking to one topic and delving in deep. I know that from time to time, most probably all INTJ have moments in their life where they research the hell out of something, whereby they didn't sleep or eat for hours on end, just researching like crazy and really rabbit holing the heck out of a topic or a question. So, as you can tell, we research until we are satisfied with the information gathered, which is a hard task because, again, we want to know everything. Hence the amount of crazy hours that we put into what we want to know. Now, when we finally stop, we'll now look like major bumheads to other people. When, for example, someone decides to offer information on the topic that we've researched heavily on. So when they are divulging their knowledge onto us, before they even finish the sentence, we would most probably have said the phrase, I know a lot. And probably a couple of times too. And we say we know because we most probably predicted what this other person was going to say. And having it being repeated is good, but when we know, we don't really want to listen to it again. And that ticks some people off. And I understand why it does. I think that we should just relearn the facts. Yeah, it takes a while to be patient. Because when you come off as someone who's closed-minded and doesn't want to know any more facts, they'll probably either want to keep carrying on telling you everything about this subject, or just view us as dicks, whereby we INTJs retreat into our know-it-all shell. So, another way to tackle this is by having fun and playing around with the facts that you and I know, and just tossing ideas around and playing with it. It makes for a great bonding session. And we can both extrapolate information from each other. It helps to keep an open mind by thinking that everyone you meet will know something that you don't know. And that's almost always 100% true. Because for us INTJs, although we think we know most things, we don't. We just like to think we do. One thing that INTJ does well is they can view themselves from a third-party perspective, which means that they are super self-aware of what they look like to other people. And for the times when we don't know something, we'll just most probably stay quiet or ask a lot of questions. And that's a pretty healthy INTJ because you want to know more things. And this method of asking more questions allows you to touch upon a topic on a surface level. And being INTJ, we really do question the harder stuff, the deeper stuff, which maybe you won't know the answer to even though you're knowledgeable in that area. And that's great because maybe we'll then both try to find the answer out together, and it's exciting to learn new information. Plus, asking questions instead of staying silent helps us to be in the moment, because when and if we stay quiet for too long, this whole interaction becomes mundane and boring, and honestly, our thoughts are much more exciting. Anyways, granted, there are some times when we do know something, but we are not sure whether what we know is factually correct. And so we don't say anything in the end, and that's a feeling. I don't like it. So when I find that personally I'm in this sort of situation whereby I know something but I'm not sure if it's right, I tend to just try to explain what I think I know in order to stop this internal torment, because I can't explain what I wanted to explain. So yes, depending on who I'm talking to, I would take a stab at it. Just give it a go. It really helps to practice your brain and mouth coordination. And in doing so, you get to understand how to process things faster vocally. So you're training to be more correct in how you word things out loud. Because INTJs know that they can piece things together in their brain very easily, but when it comes to explaining things out loud, it's going to be non-linear, and that sucks. Okay guys, that's it for another video. Yeah, have a good day, or evening and night, wherever you are, and I'll catch you all later. Bye.